Hello everyone, Phoenix61 here with your Legends shenanigans for the day. We are in the Vanguard. Haven't done a video with the ship in a while, so we're putting one out there. That's another thing too, guys, if you're interested in, I know like I definitely have my favorites. I try to play a little bit of everything though. And so if you're interested in me doing a playthrough with a particular ship, leave that down in the comments. And I'll get one out there if I've got it, right? I have vast majority of the regular Techline ships and a pretty good chunk of premium ones as well. But great hit against that cruiser there for our first salvo. It brings home 26,000 damage, most of his health. And the key to, and I've got a build on here that I'm actually not sure about, right? It's kind of an older one, right? I haven't visited my Vanguard build in a while, and so I might want to change this out here, but second hit on the cruiser out there isn't quite as epic as that first one, so we're trying to finish him off here. I did trip the reload booster, which is really nice to have on this ship. And you see if we can take him out here. Nope, still can't do it. Somebody else. Always leave enough health for somebody else. That's the polite thing to do, guys. So we'll take our shot at the Bismarck. A lot of these, if we've got the nice broadside shots, we're going to use AP, right? But a lot of these British battleships can really shine with the HE shells. And so sometimes I'm doing quite a bit into that build and playstyle. So you'll see me use HE shells a little bit more with some of these British battleships than I would with some of the other countries. And that's the reason why they hit a little bit harder with HE. And so we've built into that too, and that always helps as well. So we'll try and fire spam this Bismarck and see what we get away with here. And then I'm trying to back up to get behind this island in hopes that nothing would have line of sight on us, but something's spotting us. Yep, I think it's that Akatsuki over in B. So we're not going to get away with being undetected for the time being. So we'll continue to pick on him. It did look like he put that first fire out. So hopefully we can trigger another one and that'll let it burn for a little bit. That's the plan anyway. Right, so we're just going to watch our angling. That's the biggest thing with these ships. A lot of the British battleships, right, you're gonna need to be appropriately angled. Otherwise you're going to take really, really rough hits. And then you do get pretty good heals with the British ships as well. So, right, you can come back from the dead pretty much for the most part if you play it right? You're going to get more out of those heals, right, if you're not taking severe damage, right? So if you're getting hit in the Citadel and you're taking those critical damage, those critical hits, you're not going to be able to heal as much of that back. But if you're as far as like minor damage and fire damage and stuff like that, the heals can be pretty epic. And so I think that's why I was like kind of interested. Like I think I have a different, newer commander in mind to put on this Vanguard. Like I said, I hadn't visited my commander loadout for the Vanguard for a while here. And I'd switched to AP. You notice on the minimap there is still a cruiser out there behind that island. So I was kind of hoping to be able to catch him off guard. And somebody would spot him and we'd be able to get a good shot off on that. That's where that's coming from, whatever that is. So we'll move out. It's still a little early in the game. We don't need to be aggressive just yet. There's no reason for us to push up and in. We'll fire at this Connecticut. Obviously, our destroyer on our flank is doing great, right? He's remaining undetected, not being too aggressive, and capping the zone. He's a little lucky, right? He doesn't have an enemy destroyer on this side, so that job is easy for the time being, right? So we'll switch back to HE, see if we can pick on this Connecticut and get some fires going on him. That cruiser does finally show up, but I think I'm going to hit the island here. So we'll aim at the guts and tower of the Connecticut, see if we can trigger some fires here. And we do. And we'll just continue to move around the flank here. So we got allies, right? I'm looking at the minimap. I got my destroyer and cruiser on the inside of the ACAP, so I'm going to move to the outside of the ACAP to try and create some crossfire and situations and be able to pinch the enemy here. So we'll keep moving up. Hopefully Bismarck gets within range here and we can get a shot off on him. We got a fire burning on that Connecticut. It's our damage up in the top right still ticking. And we'll take the shot at the Bismarck. And I'm going to use the reload booster, right? Don't hold on to the reload boosters too much, right? Like, you got to think the games are only 15 minutes. I like to use them kind of early when there's a decent opportunity. I kind of figured those battleships would stay spotted, so it didn't quite have that Connecticut was just going out of sight when we fired those guns. So I'm not sure how good that dispersion was. And then with this build, we do have 3 heals here, so if you think about like from a timing perspective too, we're about a third of the way through the game, right? So we could use a heal here. I'm gonna hang on to it for a little bit longer here. There we go. And then I'm trying to turn in so that we're not poorly angled against these battleships that are shooting AP at us. And then our destroyer ditched us, and so did our cruiser. So now we're kind of a little bit alone over here on this side. Connecticut did send his airstrike with the torpedo bomber, so we're hitting on the brakes here, full reverse, turning in to try and avoid these. Just barely misses us there, so that's perfect. And then I'd like to go undetected here, right, and kind of force... It'd be much easier to manage this situation if they were forced to push into me, because, well, we've got the zone on this side, too. So I'm gonna turn to the right here, only because Bismarck wasn't looking at me, right? If I was gonna be if Bismarck was paying attention to me, I don't want to give him broadside, right? So, but because he's looking at and firing at somebody else, we'll take advantage of that here. Get those rear turrets off, and then I'm going to switch back to AP in hopes that we can spot this cruiser and catch him off guard here. Now, I do know it is I think it was what was it, a Japanese cruiser? I'm not sure, can't remember, right? So, I'm a little nervous about torpedoes. I'm kind of hoping that we can get this fire, out, right? So, I was kind of just playing it a little bit slow. We don't really need to be aggressive here. We'll use another heal. That's going to give us a good chunk of health back, right? Most of this is fire damage. Right, and then we get spotted. Of course, we're going to have worse concealment than the cruiser. So we get spotted here, and right, they're going to not sail in a straight line, right? We're going to duck and weave here. We have up to 144,000 damage here. And then we go undetected, right? So I'm going to guess that one of these islands, probably the one right in front of us, off to our left here on the screen, right, that is between us and that cruiser, unless he's really hauling away, right, and running away. So we'll go a-hunting. My teammates, for the most part, are doing fine on the other side of the map, too. But, like, yeah, we're a little bit of sailing simulator here just because of the situation, right? We got left alone over here, but we managed to hold our own, took out the Connecticut. The Bismarck on the other team sort of sailed away. And then whatever cruiser this is that's left is kind of all we have left to deal with. And he's playing conservative as well, and trying to not be spotted by us is my guess here. So we'll sail this direction for a little bit, and then we'll do some maneuvering here. Yep, we still, yeah, it's a Rochester, okay. We may not have had to worry about torpedoes. I don't think Rochester has torpedoes. But he's going to drop his smoke. But we did get a shot off there, and with those 3 hits, that does give us high caliber there. Could potentially blind fire in, right? If he's going to continue to fire his guns. Could shoot into the smoke screen if we wanted. He stopped. I'm guessing he doesn't have anything spotted right now, so I'm not sure where their destroyer went, but their destroyer should be spotting for him. Right? It's 3-on-3. This game isn't won. Like, we could very easily lose this game just by kind of playing poorly and getting sunk, right?
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
There he is. That's a pretty decent angle, so I'm glad we've got AP loaded here. We'll turn to the right to try and get these rear turrets off. He does turn away from us, so we didn't get as much on him as I would have liked. And measly little overpen there, but our damage is slowly ticking up, right? 152,000 now. Right, every little bit's helping here. He does take the shot at us finally here. I think he was probably going for our destroyer there, right? I think Rochester might have radar, so he's probably picking up that destroyer and then ran out, so we might all be the only thing that he can shoot at for the moment. And I'm just kind of curious where their enemy destroyer is, right? So he could run into torpedoes here at some point. I've got smoke between me and him, although I'm probably still subject to our smoke firing penalty. Right, so I'm going to make a turn here, right? I'll go into the overhead camera, we'll aim the guns to the right side of the ship, and then go into the overhead camera so we can still kind of look in this direction if we want. But that allows the guns to continue moving that direction while we look whatever direction we want. And somebody picks up their destroyer, so he's out there and away from us, so we should be just fine. But this will allow us to push towards these guys instead of away from them. We do get a Citadel hit there finally for the kill on the Rochester. So that gave us a good bump in damage numbers there for the game. 172,000. And then, of course, we're going to help out with the destroyer, even though he is the only one left, so we don't really have anything else to do anyway. But I'm a big fan of being a battleship player and helping out, trying to kill destroyers, or at least do a little bit of damage. But we do get the kill there, so we'll have to take a look at the leaderboard for this game. And then I'll go through the build to this Elorasi, this commander. That's just the Geist, right? So I'll show you who we're actually using. I'm pretty sure it's a free-to-play commander, but 2,900 XP puts us at the top. That's a pretty decent score, and 288,000 in credits earned. So we'll take that action. Right, so I'm using aiming system here. My preference is propulsion mod when it's an option on a British ship, right? And then concealment systems here. And then I'm using reload here, right? So, and then this commander is actually, who is this? Yeah, Andrew Cunningham I'm using here, right? Like I said, I need to revisit this and see if I like somebody else. But this works. It's still a good build, right? I'm just thinking there's some other things out there now. Since I originally was grinding this tech line, right? But Fournette, right, he's a good one to just have ranked up for inspiration since he just does more HE shell damage. Range there, right, on second thought here for this third row. You could go marksmanship for the better dispersion. I kind of like the reload there, right? And then reaching out for more range. I like will to rebuild, but fight fire with fire, always a good choice as well. And that's going to be our video for the day, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Please do subscribe to the channel. That doesn't cost anything and helps me out and shows your support for me. I try to do Legends videos pretty much every day, right? So we'll see you guys tomorrow if you're following, right? And then as always, special thanks to channel members as well. If you're interested in that, visit my page in the membership section. It's pretty hefty price tag there, right? So you might want to check that out. But anyway. But yeah, please do subscribe. Got a couple of videos on the left side of the screen that'll show up here for you, since I do have quite a bit of World of Warships content out there already, so you can hang out, right? But thanks again, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.